All right, let's go ahead and move our shoulders around and kind of just drop into our space, wherever that might be in the world. I like to lean my neck over to one side and maybe reach an arm up and just move around. Just get your body relaxed and comfortable. And maybe we've been sitting for a while and need some extra movement. I'm going to take a deep breath and let everything release from the mouth. So as I was thinking about this tapping into oneness today, so many things came through my mind. I haven't been home in about 3 years.
Wow.
So kind of a long time for me. I used to come home often. And last night I was standing in my mother and father's kitchen and kind of reminiscing about relatives that I remember from when I was little or younger, and maybe just our different life paths and anything that's brought us to this point in time. Well, then I went another step further. And if we take out time, how we know it, as we like to look at the clock and calendars and days and months and years, and consider every being that has contributed to us before now, whether that be the structures that we walk into for, I remember libraries when I was little and walking into there and all of the knowledge and books and people who have been in there before. And even the roadways, like we use roads to get all across the country, all across the world, and people have contributed to that. And so when I think about oneness, I start to think about the entirety of oneness, not just the people that we have known, but also the people we haven't known. And so I think it's really important to consider that foundation that brings us to where we are today, whether that be physical happenings or spiritual happenings, or um, the entities that you can still feel floating around you and protecting you from certain things, or offering you messages whenever we're open to those things, when we're not so busy and we take a moment to be still. And I will be the first to tell you, I am not a sit still kind of girl. I never have been. uh, I teach kindergarten and yoga and raise 3 children and love to cook and run and go and do and do. And lately I've been really intentionally clearing my calendar to maybe tap back into that oneness of the whole entity that kind of brings us together. So that's where my mindset is today. I'm happy to hear what you guys would like to bring to this meeting for us today, because we all come, right? We all show up. We're all busy. We all have lots of things going on. But is there anything really that pops into your mind that you'd like to share or maybe bring to the group for us today that we could also maybe enjoy, or focus on and be enjoy part of that oneness that we all bring together? And you can unmute yourselves and talk. There aren't that many of us, or you can type it in the chat, whatever you feel more comfortable with. Hey, Camille, absolutely. Share with us what's on your mind.
When you started talking about oneness, I immediately thought of, we could call it a faith tradition, I suppose. But for over 33 years, I have participated in the Native American sweat lodge ceremonies, and I'm an elder at a lodge at this point. And what we say there when we go in, when we go out, when we pray, we start with Metakwi Oyasin. And that's a Lakota phrase, which literally translates as all my relations. And it is a kind of shorthand for we are all one. All creation is one, not just the humans, but all that is. We are all part of this one great whole. And that's been a really important part of my evolution as a human being, to understand that I am so not isolated, that we really are all participating in this business of existing.
Mhm. I absolutely agree. We all are participating, whether we realize that we are or not. And I think along this journey of learning more about myself and about oneness and really tapping into, literally tapping into so many different things, is that we all are participating whether we mean to or not. So, really intentionally or not. And my belief is if that we are open to our more authentic self, that the alignment of others that are with us will appear in ways, if we're paying attention, that will help us along our journey, and
Yes.
we help them in return. And that doesn't even mean just today, right? It could mean from generations ago or lifetimes ago. And that the seeds literally that we are planting today can and will help other people along their journeys after we're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so really using that oneness, knowing that we are a contributing member of this time, space, reality, world, universe, however you would like to frame it, we're all part of that.
Well, one of the ways that I like to remind myself that in reality, this is a benign universe, and I
Mm.
want to maintain a sense of openness to that, even though I know there's a lot of dark stuff going on, has, does, and will. I have a phrase written on my bathroom mirror: how is the universe showing up for you today? And that helps me to ground into a more positive mindset, because you know, I have a bit of a struggle with that. I feel like our go-to is, oh crap, rather than yes. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I
And,
do.
and, I, and I must say, I might have to leave early because I am having trouble with my computer. And here we are again. It is overheating. So it's not because I'm not loving the experience, it's because of my computer.
It is okay. This is recorded. And so we will replay it. You can replay it whenever you like, but we won't take offense if you suddenly pop away. Thanks for letting us know, though. I really appreciate your input. Does anyone else want to share anything that maybe is on their mind or their heart um, before we kind of begin list our first round of tapping and dropping in? Any takers? Okay. If you change your mind, we have a chat and we have just unmute yourselves. It's completely fine. I'm just really happy that you guys were able to be here today. Um, let's see. I don't often multitask very well, even though I pretend to. So I'm just reading some of our comments before we get started. It's not safe because being seen can be negative consequence. Oh, I come from a small place. Do not want to be exposed somehow. So when we start to live our authentic self, it can bring about some really scary aspects around being seen and being judged and being criticized and being pointed at or even isolated for what we're doing. So trust me, I'm currently sitting in a town of 600 people. And so tapping is not really a thing here yet. Yet. But it is a place of a great deal of spirituality. And so the idea that we all are connected really is here. So us using our tapping trainings and exposures is just another way to bring so many people together. And I also work as a yoga instructor, and so that hasn't always been a mainstream accepted practice, but it is more so now. And so I look at our tapping modality as kind of still on the forefront, even though it's been around for a long time. Sometimes it takes years and years and years for other people to accept something as being normal and mainstream. And so I think that we're just the leaders. We're the leaders. And we can use this great resource as a way to solidify our connection together and then to help others to join us when they're ready, whenever they're ready. All right, so let's take a deep breath. And if you feel comfortable, I'm assuming you are in your space, you can close your eyes. So I'm going to breathe deeply in through the nose. And maybe hold at the top for a few counts. 1, 2, 3. And let's exhale through our mouth very slowly. And we'll let our shoulders drop. And maybe let our chin drop in toward our chest slightly. Letting our belly relax. And we'll take another inhale together. And we'll slowly release through the mouth. And let's get really grounded and comfortable in our seats. I'm going to place both hands over my heart, continuing to breathe deeply. And I'm just going to start to invite friendly faces into my body, into my space. Those that I've known before that I hold in high regard. Those that offer a sense of peace, a sense of wisdom, a sense of grounding, despite what else might be happening in the world. I know that right here in this time, in this space, in this moment together, I'm safe, I'm grounded. I'm able to share these moments with all of you and all of those that came before us. And we'll continue to breathe and let our bodies relax as we feel the loving, almost blanket of energy that can be wrapped around our whole body. Dropping into this moment with ease, with a sense of calmness, grounding here together. Really feeling the love that we're able to project out of our own hearts and out of our own bodies, out into the world, into the space that we're sitting in, through the electronic world that we're able to share through the screens, even out beyond to everyone that we're thinking about in this moment. Knowing that we are all connected, all wrapped in fuzzy warm blankets as we really just come together, acknowledging, appreciating, offering so much love and gratitude for not just the peaceful moments, but for the challenges that teach us where we want to go and how to walk our own paths. And as we sit here, I like to envision all of us able to reach out and hold hands and make a big chain from one place and space to another, reaching out with love and gratitude to surround all of those who would like to be within our circle. Knowing that timing is very important, knowing that those that we care about so much may or may not be ready to join in our alignment, and just feel the peace that we're able to hold for ourselves and for each other. Knowing that we are amazing beings in our physical and spiritual bodies, knowing that we're walking an aligned path, enlightened, ready to embrace all things that have come before us and all things that might come with us. And just taking a deep breath right now and envisioning a soft but bright light that enters through our heart and fills our own bodies with love and light. And as we sit comfortably, warmly surrounded by gratitude and love, able to share this time together, I would like for us to envision one person who might need this message from us. Maybe it's a person that gave us great knowledge when they were with us, and or maybe it's someone that might need a little extra love. So get this vision of your person in your mind, and we'll inhale deeply. And on our next exhale, we'll send every ounce of love that we have to that one person so that they might feel a sense of love wash over their whole body, no matter what they're doing. And make that bond of love and the honor that you have for them so strong that they have to feel it. Some of us might get phone calls later today saying, I was really just thinking of you today. Knowing that we can touch people across the world, knowing that when we come together in groups and numbers and we join, that our strength is multiplied beyond our imagination. Now, as we come back into our body a bit, feeling the seat that we're on, bringing that sense of love and joy and light back in just a little bit, just for ourselves for right now. We find a smile in our face and gratitude in our heart and in our bodies, knowing that every decision we've made before today has brought us here to this moment, and we can be grateful for those many things. We've learned so much along our path, and we have so much more to learn and share. It's really exciting to share those things with other people. And let's take a few more breaths. And as we come back into our space, I like to place the palms of my hands together and rub them together quite quickly to create some heat. And my eyes are still closed. I'm just going to rub the palms together, making some heat and some fire from within, cultivating that love, cultivating that gratitude. And I'm going to take the palms of my hands and place them over my closed eyes to feel the heat resonate in through my eyes and into my body. Placing the hands over the eyes, wrapping the fingertips around the skull, maybe even gently massaging. Taking another deep breath. Dropping the chin in down toward the chest slightly. We can let our hands go and relax into our laps, palms facing up or down, whatever's comfortable for you. I'm going to start to slowly open the eyes and come back into my space, leaving the gaze soft. Taking another breath or two, realizing where we're at. I'm going to shift the eyes, maybe left and right, keeping them low. And so now I'll bring the focus back into the room and I'll find something that's green. If you don't have anything green in your space, that's okay. Maybe find something brown. And just let your eyes roll around the outer edges of that object. Maybe it's a picture frame, maybe it's a plant, maybe it's your favorite pillow. And we'll start some deep breaths and we'll start to roll the shoulders and we'll come back into our space and we'll put a big smile on our face and find some gratitude. And remember that person or those people that we were really thinking about, knowing that they felt us send that love to them today, knowing that we may or may not get a phone call or an email or whatever communication, or maybe it's someone who's not with us anymore and they got to be with us for a moment. Go ahead and grab a drink of whatever you have with you, whether that's coffee, tea, water. All right. How do you guys feel after sending some love and gratitude out to someone who you may or may not have thought about in a while? Good. Yeah, it's good. It really doesn't take much time, but it does definitely take effort. Or we'll have thoughts of someone in passing and go, huh, and then we move on with our day quickly. And so I think that if we can take a minute and offer those feelings to someone, it really is effective for all of us. And so if we're feeling better in our world, it passes on, just like we've all felt negative energy somewhere. But if we can be the positive energy, whether that's just from our homes, through our computers, when we go to the grocery store, when we stop and get gas, it helps someone else. And so that's what I also think about with oneness. I have something to share with you though. I have forgotten how long it takes to stop and get gas in Kentucky. I had just forgotten, and I'm from here. In Colorado, it's you get your things, you move on. Here, it's stop, talk about your family, talk about if your mom's in just the list of conversation is long. And so 20 minutes later, you finally have your gas, but you've also made a connection with people. And so I really think that taking that moment to slow down, while it sometimes seems like, oh my gosh, can we go? Is really just important. And so if nothing else, the reminder of that from being home has been really impactful for me over the last couple of days. Because it really does take 20 minutes to say goodbye to someone. And part of it is, when I'm visiting, I never really know when I'll be back. And so I really want to take the time to give a real hug, say goodbye, hear and hear about some of those small details that I don't often get to hear about. And so I think that I can take that forward into my Colorado life and make a little bit more of an impact and difference there too, just like we all kind of can. Did anything else come up for you guys, either during that meditation or just as I'm kind of rambling about my own personal experiences? You had anything impactful come up lately? Yeah, Richard, tell us.
This is going to sound a little silly. When you had us envision someone and then giving out all of our love to them, all I can think of, well, I like to fill my cup up And then whatever is overflowing, I will give out to everybody else. But I want to keep some for myself.
But I think that's the most important thing. That I don't think that's silly at all, because we forget that if our own cup isn't full, we can't really give it to anyone else. And just as practitioners or counselors or parents, or maybe we're caregiving for one of our parents, or a loved one, we give and give and give and give, and then our own cup is empty. And so our self-love should come first so that we can give to everyone else. And it's much easier said than done, I think, until we start to practice.
Mhm.
And for me, oh wait, where is it? I'm carrying my, I'm carrying my inner child around with me on this trip for sure. Who else has theirs? Yes. So if you're in our 30-day inner child challenge, I have also taken Niko's advice, and I have put a picture of a very young version of me as my screensaver.
Oh, nice.
Mm.
And so you don't realize how often you pick up your phone until you put a picture of your younger self on your phone, and you're like, oh, I pick up my phone a lot. And hi, how are you? Check in. And so before I will check a message, I kind of have to check with my inner child and say, what are you doing? Or is this okay with you? Or who am I giving my attention to? And so it really has made me stop and give myself love in different areas and versions and ages of my life, which has been very helpful. And it helps me to build better boundaries for before I become depleted in giving, giving,
Mm.
giving. I now go, nope, I need 2 minutes just to, before I go do that. And that's not selfish, that is self-care. And that is self-love. But to practice that doesn't always feel natural or normal, or it feels selfish, and it really isn't. So keep part of that in your cup. Don't give all and every bit of it away. I'll change the wording for that, for sure. But I think it's a really good reminder, because we do give and give and give and give, and there's nothing wrong with giving. But so I will have to also say that my inner child has a this face too. And so, right. So when she's irritated, it's this. And then it can be this.
Oh.
So it's a really good reminder of checking in. And it doesn't take very long. It's um, kind of like when we journal. Some people are really great about journaling. I'm not. But I have found a really wonderful resource, and I'll send it out. I'll put it in the chat. It's called the 3-minute positivity journal, and it literally takes 3 minutes. And so it's a prompted journal of how you feeling right now, and what do you think your aspirations are for the day. But it takes 3 minutes. But it's a really good self check-in, and it's a really good way to just slow down for yourself and give love to yourself, and to really understand where you're at. And if you are irritated, why are you irritated? Or if you are feeling anxious, what are we anxious about? And is that your adult version? Or is that your child version that's being triggered by coming home after 3 years? I'd really consider those things before making this trip, but I had the entire state of Kansas to think about it. Yeah. The whole state. So let's take a breath. How are you guys feeling? It's really good to see your faces. Really, really good. Let's see if we have any new messages. I'm practicing my multitasking. Let's get into some tapping. We had a little meditation, but let's get into some tapping. I have a few suggestions that I thought we would start with, but really, self-acceptance keeps coming up for me lately. I don't know if that's something that you guys have going on.
Mhm.
And also this idea of imposed beliefs and timelines. well, I'm this age, so I should have this done already. Well, I'm this age and I look where I'm at. Well, so and so has already done this and this and this and this and this. And so self-acceptance and letting go of the belief of timelines has been a really big theme in my life lately. And I find often that other people are thinking about many similar things, or we have lots of similar challenges. Does anyone else have anything that is maybe really weighing on them or popping up lately that we could all benefit from as a group? Because borrowed benefits is the best way to tap, actually. Anybody? Please tell us. Yes.
Well, I turned 70 in December and I never felt old. I was running 5Ks, 10Ks, walking every day, running 3 times a week. And then I injured myself, not running. And dang, now I feel old. And I don't like it. I mean, I'm the same person I was when I was 69.
Right.
I just have a few mobility issues.
Right.
Yeah.
Has it taken out your entire ability to run and move in that fashion?
Yeah, I can't run at all. I used to walk 6 miles a day. I can barely make 2 now. Before I'm in so much pain, I have to sit down.
How do you think, how would you describe your feeling around that? Other than I feel old. I feel old.
I feel disappointed because I really liked running. It was a part of me.
Yes.
I love doing it.
A part of your identity, maybe?
Yeah, a part of my identity, a part of my health.
Mhm.
I just miss it. I miss going to the park and seeing all the smiling faces that I knew.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of a whole community of runners probably as well.
Yeah, I didn't really know them, but we'd wave and,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, kudos to you for being a runner. But also for acknowledging that you miss it so much.
I do
And
miss
that
it.
it has been a part of you that you can't participate in right now. And I know that we all have things that, whether it's running or another activity, that we either cannot participate in or we choose not to participate in for whatever reason, that has been a huge part of our identity and part of who we are, and maybe not just how we see ourselves, but how other people see us as well, and all the beliefs that come with that. Yeah, so maybe we, as one, tap on the things that maybe we're grieving a little bit for not being able to participate in anymore or fully in anymore, and what that means as we kind of change into a different period of our life. Yeah, because that's
Don't wanna.
right. Don't want to. I don't want to. Right? I'm not going to. I'm not going to. Right? You kind of want to throw your fit and say, no, I don't have to do this. And that's okay, because that's been a big part. I'm sure it's been a big part of your being for a long, long time. Yeah, and that's a physical outlet, and it's emotional outlet, and it's a mental outlet, and it allows you to be outside. So many things. So many things that come with that. Yeah. So disappointed. Anybody else disappointed about something they cannot necessarily participate in right now? Seriously.
My situation's the same as Cynthia's. Yeah, I periodically have to give up running. Yeah, exactly the same. I was running and I stopped for a bunch of years, and then I got into it again, and then I just injured myself last week. And every time I'm like, no, it was working for me. So yes, I feel the highs and the lows. It's a real roller coaster. It's so good when it's there, and it's heartbreaking when I think, oh, is this the end? So yeah, I can relate to all of that.
Yes.
Thanks, Suze.
Yeah, because and our minds spiral into the, oh my gosh, am I ever going to be able to run again? And if I
Yeah.
can't, then what? Then who am
Yeah.
I? Then how am I going to get
Yes.
my workout in? Then how am I going to take my time? Because if you're a solo runner, that's your time.
Yeah.
And that's like that's your time. I have a similar my shoulder is injured and it has been for a long time, and I'm a yoga instructor. And so I'm like, what if I can't down dog ever again? Like, this is not working for me.
Yeah.
And that was that's been an identity for years and years, and also a way of helping people and staying fit. And that's my time. All I have to say to my kids is, I'm going to yoga. And that means this period of time is mine. Don't come talk to me.
Yes.
And so to lose that or to give that up, I mean, the front room of my house is a yoga studio. When you walk in the front door, I'm like, I'm not going to change that to an office. And so to think about having to give those things up that have been so much a part of us is really hard. It's really,
Mhm.
it is really disappointing. It is almost like a grief and a sadness. And oh my gosh, now what am I going to do? And so our mind tries to keep us safe, and spirals into places that may or may not be true. So let's tap on that a little bit if you're ready to, if you'd like to. And use, if I don't use the words that really are impactful for you, then change them to your own words. But we're going to start on the side of the hand with our statement. Go ahead and make sure you've loosened up in your body still, because we get real stiff, especially when we start to talk about things that are uncomfortable. So we'll just take a deep breath. And sometimes I close my eyes when I tap, and sometimes I keep them open. So do whatever works for you and what's comfortable for you. All right. So even though I'm really feeling my age currently,
Even though I'm really feeling my age currently.
and right, and I'm really missing my running time. I'm willing to accept that all of these feelings are normal and natural, and I love myself anyway. And even though I don't feel like the same version of myself physically right now than I ever have before, and it's making me feel really old. And just last week, I was fine. And suddenly, I'm not. And I don't know what to do about it. And I'm pretty sad, actually. This has been part of my life for so long, and what if it's never a part of my life again? So even though I'm facing this immediate change, and I don't like it, and I want to hang on to the other version of myself, it's who I am. It's how I know myself. It's how other people know me. I deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway. And even though I still want to continue this activity that has defined me for so long, I'm willing to accept that the universe might have a different plan for me, even though I don't really want it. I know that I can breathe and be safe right here in this moment. And trust that moving forward, I am okay. I really miss running. I am a runner. I am a runner. That's my time. That's always been my thing. That's how I've defined myself for a long time. I'm a runner. Who will I be without being able to run? What will I do if I can't run? I'm a runner. I am a runner. I've always been a runner. I like running. What if I'm not a runner anymore? Then what am I if I'm not a runner anymore? How will I stay healthy? What will I do? I don't know what I will do. Running is my only thing. Running is my thing. Running is the only thing I have loved. And now I don't have it. I'm really sad about it. I'm really disappointed in my body. My body has let me down. I was trying to keep my body healthy by running. And now my body won't let me. Not only am I sad about that, I'm pretty mad about it. I have used running to be healthy, to get rid of my racing thoughts, to zone out into a world that I needed to be into. With no one else, I can just run all by myself. All I need is my shoes and some space. Ugh, now I'm gonna have to join a gym. Surrounded by people. I can't even use the treadmill. I'm a runner. I am a runner. I'm sad that my body won't let me be a runner anymore. I'm disappointed that I might never run again. I'm really disappointed with the idea that I might never run again. I've been running for years. What am I going to do? Is my body just going to fall apart now? I can't run anymore. And I really loved running. I don't want to do anything else. I'm trying to honor my body. I'm still pretty disappointed. I could consider some other kind of activity. It won't be what I want. I don't really want to do it. I really just want to run. Because I already know how. I'm comfortable with running because I know how. I know what happens in certain weather when I run. I know how long my run will be for the day, depending on how I feel. I already have my favorite routes picked out. I know where the crazy neighborhood dogs are. I get to run by the parks and see people working on their favorite activities. I really have loved my running season. I'll think about trying something new. I don't want to try something new. But I guess at one point running was new. When I first started it, I probably wasn't very good at it. Then it just became part of me. I'll think about trying something new. I'll consider trying something new. Maybe my body really does just need a running break. Maybe my body just needs time to heal. Maybe with time, I'll be able to come back to running. Maybe not. I've really enjoyed running. I really still love running. But I'll consider that I might be able to love something else. Not as much. I'll just tolerate it for a while. But something new might be better than nothing. Who knows? Maybe my body will like this new thing even better. I can't imagine that right now. But I'm willing to consider that my body needs something else. And by honoring and listening to my body, I am honoring myself with love. I would never ask someone else to hurt themselves physically doing something that they love. So it's unreasonable for me to ask my body to do something that hurts it just because I love it. I'm willing to offer my body compassion. I'm willing to offer my body time. I'm willing to release some of the anxiety around running. And the idea that I'm a runner and what that means. Releasing the anxiety of not knowing who I am. Releasing the anxiety of one specific identity. Knowing that I am a fluid, transformational being. Knowing that trying something new might bring a whole new group of people into my world. Knowing that this could be the doorway into a whole new life, no matter what my age. I don't know what will happen. I might run again in the future. I might not run again in the future. Knowing that today, in this moment, I am safe, I am calm, I am loved, whether I run or not. All right, take a breath, y'all, and maybe rub on those sore spots. All right, runners, how you feeling?
I had a big aha moment.
What did you
Huge,
have? What did you have?
huge. I did not run all my life. I started running when my husband died.
Ah, good coping mechanism.
It helped me cope tremendously.
Yeah, that's a
Whoa,
huge.
wow.
That's huge.
Just getting out. And sometimes I felt like I was communing with him, you
Yeah.
know? Wow.
So that's wonderful. I love that you had that aha. So
Uh-huh.
my question for you is, how else can you still commune with him without having to run?
That's a big question.
It is a big question, and it's not one that you
Huge.
have to answer, but it's one that I think deserves some time and contemplation and a
Yeah.
new space or activity for.
It's so odd that I found him outdoors because he wasn't an outdoors person. I couldn't
Yeah,
get him to go for a walk, but I always felt like he was watching over me and laughing at me. And
yeah. He still is.
wow,
It's fine.
he probably is.
He is. He's like, watch this. I love that you have that moment. I love that you have that
Oh.
realization that has come to you. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to sit with it for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, I love that. Anybody else have any ahas or just some thoughts that like, oh, that is pretty true. Yeah.
I didn't have any ahas because this is the third or fourth time I've had to give up running, but I feel like it was just so interesting, the whole arc of the tapping. It was like you were just describing the whole journey of it defines me, it's my identity. Oh, maybe I could try something else. I don't want to. Oh, maybe I will. It just, you summed it up so beautifully from beginning
Oh,
to end. So I just love that. And I also, the piece that stood out to me was you said, my running season, which, can mean, within a year, there's a season that might be better for running than other seasons. But in my mind, it was the season of my life that was for running. And maybe I'm starting a new season now. So, and I like the idea of the cycles and how things do come to their natural end. And so that, I just really love that image. And I'm going to just hold that with running in my mind and see what comes of that. So thank you for that.
you're welcome. I really love that as well. I have started to think about many things in season. I visualize many similarities with nature. So we never expect flowers to bloom all year, ever. So why would we expect our bodies to run all year? We never, we never expect so many things, or we plant the seed and it takes forever and ever and ever and ever, and then because that's the foundation of the roots growing down into the ground and then blossoming. And so I have really started to think about most things in seasons. Um, I've also started to release the idea that I have to continue to love the things that I used to do like I used to love them. I'm like, that was me when I was 27. Now I'm 47. I don't really have to love that anymore. And so it's really interesting, because I'm here visiting people I haven't seen in a while, and they're like, "Well, do you still?" Da, da, da? I'm like, "No, I don't do that anymore." And it's kind of shocking for them, but as we evolve and transition and grow and change, I think it's so important for us to have that self-acceptance of, well, this is a season that I used to be this, and now I could do this instead. So I have recently decided that dancing needs to be part of my life. I am not a dancer, but I love music and I love movement and I love these things. And so I am going to go to a salsa dancing class very soon. I teach yoga for a reason. I like to move very slowly and methodically. So we'll see how salsa dancing works. But I also, I need the the movement and the music and the people and the interaction, because I've gotten very quiet and calm, and that's awesome, but I'm like, I need an outlet. And so it's just, it will be a different season. And it's just fun. I think that we do many things when we're younger on purpose to reach a goal. But I believe that as we get a little older, we need to incorporate more fun, just for fun, just for fun, just for laughing and being silly and doing those things. And if we can do that with other people, as we show up authentically, I think it's really important. Really important. What else? What else? What else?
I have
Yes.
something.
Yes.
Hi.
Yeah.
A similar thing related to physical exercise. And in February, I saw the chiropractor 8 times while I was working out. So when I left my job in last June, I scheduled 2 times a week with a trainer, personal trainer for weightlifting, and 2 times a week Pilates reformer, which is Pilates on a machine. Because I knew I live by myself with my cats. I knew I needed a social interaction. I needed to be somewhere at 9 o'clock, which would mimic being at work. And I needed the endorphin rush. So I was doing great through the end of December. And then in February, I was tired. I realized in retrospect, oh, I was tired. I didn't pay attention that on the reformer, I had the wrong spring on. And when I pulled sideways, I pulled my ribs out of balance again, out of alignment. And that causes problems that takes a couple of days, a week or so to heal. And then I did a sit up without supporting my neck, and that caused neck problems. And that took another week to heal. And so, over $300 later at the chiropractors in February, it's like, okay, what's going on? This is ridiculous. And then I had to realize that between the ages of 30 and 50, the gym was my life. I mean, I had a job, but I had a job and I went to the gym, and I went to the gym 5 days a week, and I ran and I did weights. I loved doing weightlifting. I worked out with a personal trainer for over 30 years. I loved it. It was part of who I was. I ran 3 marathons. My first one the year I turned 50. And then after the 3rd marathon, my body just kind of went, maybe not so much. And then by the time I was 55, I took a gap of 10 years of doing nothing. I would walk, I would do a little hot yoga, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But it's like I couldn't get back into the vibe, I guess, of this is what I do. And so then when I left the job, even prior to that, I had started to work out once a week with a trainer in a Pilates reformer class to get back into it, because I could see that my muscles were deteriorating. And then when all these injuries happen, I realized, okay, when are they happening? They're happening when I'm tired. Why am I tired? Because I'm trying to run the same pace in my life that I ran in the corporate world, which was push, 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 regardless of how I felt. Just keep going, get the job done. And so I gave myself the grace of scaling back. So in March, I decided to not do Pilates reformer. I'm taking a break, and I'm just working out with my weights trainer twice a week. And I'm doing that. I did it March, and I did it April. I'm going to do it April, May, and June. And I also need extra time to do these other projects, life projects that have been waiting for me while I gave all of my energy to the corporate job.
Yes.
So it's very frustrating, though, as my therapist tells me when I complain about something happening to my body. It's like, what the heck is happening now? She said, Buddhism 101. You have a body, the body ages. So my ego doesn't want to hear this. but my body's saying, yeah, we need a little bit of a rest, and it takes longer to do this, and it's okay if you sit. So that's what's happening for me. So this was very helpful to go through that whole process of, this is who I am. I go to the gym, I do these things, but it's not working right now that way. I needed the rest so that my body can heal.
Thank you, Marlene. I think that's the most important message for all of us to really take throughout any aspect of our life. We go through stages and seasons, and our bodies do age. No matter where our minds are, right? Our bodies do age, and we need to honor our bodies and listen to them, because we have been trained push, 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 push. Well, I was twice a gymmer, or twice a day gymmer, like morning, night. If it was open, I was there. I was pushing 500 pounds down. My body hurts. Like I have injured my body in ways that will never be the same, but I have to honor that now. I made those decisions. I get to honor my body now. And so being able to adjust physically and mentally around it. And so I think that's where the biggest theme of like self-acceptance comes in for wherever we're at. And it's as if, I've known many people who have either been in really bad like car crashes, or something physically really does shock them and put them in a different state of living. And we would never tell them, well, get out of bed, let's go. Right? Yeah, I don't care if your neck is broken, get out of bed, let's go. We give other people time to heal and time to adjust and time to change, but we don't often give ourselves that same time. And so I think that the self-acceptance for that is really, really important. And so speaking of, I want to honor your time, and I think that I would love to do like a self-acceptance tapping as we end up our session. But if anyone else has anything they would like to say now, I'm happy to hear it. Richard?
Yeah, I was just thinking, when I think of areas of my life being in seasons or cycles, what I like to think of is rather than a cycle, I like to think of a spiral, which means that it can come back again. When I was in my 20s, I was a ballroom dance instructor, and then I didn't do a whole lot of dancing, but I did some until my wife passed away. And then I was out dancing 4 nights a week, 4 or 5 nights a week, and I just recycled, and I enjoyed it again. I'm not doing so much now, but lots of things in my life have come back again, but in a different level, or a little bit slower, or a little bit, or whatever, at a new pace, possibly. But the interest is still there, and so I like to think of it as a spiral that it comes back again and again and again on a higher level.
I really love that so much, because it really does. The passions and the desires that we have still live in us, right? They can look different and they can be altered and changed, but they still live in us. And if they're still really important, they continue to come back, and we find a different way to do that and to participate in that. Um, that's funny. A ballroom dancer man who had lost his wife taught me how to country dance, because in the town that I was living in Arizona, there wasn't ballroom dancing. And so he would come to the local honky tonk where I bartended, and he would teach me how to dance on the dance floor. And it was lovely to be able to spend that time and learn those things. And he was at a very different stage in his life, but he still wanted to, be involved in that in some fashion, but it looked a little different.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love that so much. Anybody else? All right, let's do some goodbye tapping, I guess. Not really. I'm gonna put my email in this chat. If you guys would like to spend some more time with me, work with me in any fashion, please feel free to do so. Niko also knows how to get a hold of me. Most of you guys know how to get a hold of me as well. I give individual sessions, group sessions, yoga, all kinds of things. But it'd be really good to see you again, and I'll be in more group activities as well. So thank you for your time, but let's do some tapping as we go on through our day. So I'm willing to offer myself more self-acceptance. I'm willing to offer my body gratitude for everything that it's done for me before now. I offer myself compassion, just like I would anyone else or a child. I tune into my body to listen to the messages that it's trying to tell me. I honor the messages, not trying to control what my body says, but to listen with open ears and an open heart. And to know that all things come in a season or a spiral. Knowing that time understanding myself gets better and better. Practicing learning to listen to my body. Accepting that myself wherever I'm at. Knowing that sometimes I just need rest. Knowing that I am the only one who can really keep me safe. Knowing that love and acceptance is really important. Knowing that I'm surrounded by love from myself first and from others. Knowing that I can try new things when I'm ready or before I'm ready. Knowing that this path is full of adventure and unknowing, and that it doesn't have to be scary. Knowing that I am surrounded by safety and love, and that universe has my back always. Knowing that everything is working out for me. Knowing that I am an amazing creature, whether my body holds up or not. Knowing that I can allow for new and different things. Knowing that I am loved to my core. Knowing that I am an amazing child of the universe. Knowing that I am safe and calm here and now in this moment. So grateful for today. So grateful for every experience that I've had before today. So grateful for a deeper knowing. And so grateful for all those who are walking this path with me. All right, you guys, put your hands over your heart and take a deep breath. Find those hurts and creaks and cranky bones in your body and give them some extra love. I really appreciate your time today. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for all of everything that you share with this group and with the world. I really appreciate you. Reach out anytime. I would love to, yeah, to see you guys in the future for sure. If there's anything I can do for you or with you, just let me know.
Thank you so much, Tabitha.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day, you guys. Bye.
Tabitha, before
Yeah.
you go, what is the 30-day inner child challenge?
There's a 30-day inner child challenge that Niko has in the Hearthshine mastermind group. I don't know if are you part of that? The mastermind
yet.
group yet?
Not
So,
yet.
yeah, look on her website for all of those details, and it's in there as well. But really, it's a 30-day check-in with your inner child, really. And we've done this challenge before in that group, and it's just really helpful to check in with yourself and with your inner child at different ages to see just to address the things that really come up for us in adulthood that really stem back to inner child and nurturing yourself. And just it's a really good personal check-in for healing that inner child that we often ignore.
I'll look into it because I think inner child work is going to be my niche. That's the way I'm leaning right now. So I'll look into it.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
You're welcome. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.